Board members, any questions? Commissioner Rothschild.
Not to bring up a sore spot, but it needs to be addressed. As you know, while this back and forth is going on with North Carroll, the commissioners are intending to prepare space. Is anyone from the Board of Education or your organization representing yourself and providing input to us so that we make sure that we work with you rather than absent of input from you?
Commissioner Rothschild, the board has stated that we are not planning to move to North Carroll. We believe that the commissioners do not have the authority to tell us where to move. We have received an email from Scott Moser, which is a little astounding that he would have to send us the email, but requesting our input, and the board will be responding that at this point we're not planning to move, and so will not be involved in that process.
Well, thank you for that feedback.
Sure.
As you know, I voted against the move,
I do know
but
that.
I do need to represent my board, and a question comes up that I do think is a fair question, and that was the one the commissioners raised in the letter. And the question was this: if New Windsor was an acceptable facility on the far west end of the county, 9 miles away, why is North Carroll not an acceptable location 9 miles north? What's
Okay,
the difference?
New Windsor was never an acceptable location. It was something that I believe it was being discussed, not in any way by the Board of Education. It may have been being talked about at the central office level. The Board of Education never in any way agreed that New Windsor was an appropriate location for central office. So I understand that there's some confusion about that, but there should, I mean, anybody can look back and see the board never in any way agreed that we would be moving to New Windsor. So, and we would have had the same concerns as a board about the move to New Windsor as well.
Okay, the battle continues.
Well, and then you know, since you brought it up, I just, you know, we have had commissioners say that they will meet, and this is in no way directed at you at all, Commissioner Rothschild. We have had your commissioners say we will meet with the Board of Education no matter what, and we just received a letter from the Board of Commissioners saying that the Board of Commissioners refuses to meet with the Board of Education about this move. So it's, you know, we have tried. We have sent several letters, as you know. We have tried to call a meeting of all stakeholders. The board felt that, and this was in our last letter, the board sent a letter requesting that all stakeholders meet, the sheriff's office, the state's attorney, the judge, the Board of Commissioners, and the Board of Education. We felt like that would be the best way to address everybody's needs, and the commissioners declined that meeting.
So in terms of the message that I take back to the Board of Commissioners, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Tell me if I got this correctly.
You got it.
Your response is, there's nothing in the world that the commissioners can do at North Carroll that would result in you voluntarily moving there. Is that a correct interpretation?
That is correct, because our concern is with the location, not with the building itself. The Board of Ed would not have any problem moving into a school that was centrally located and modified appropriately, but because North Carroll is not centrally located, we feel like it causes inefficiencies and disrupts services to our students.
So that raises another question that's a difficult question for you to ask, and I apologize. I don't mean to put you on the spot, and you can defer or answer at a later date, but
all right.
May I interpret from that you might be looking at closing one or more schools that might be closer, more centrally located, and possibly moving into a different school at some point in the future?
You may not infer that at all from what I just said. The school board has, as you know, held a series of work sessions throughout this year looking at school utilizations and redistricting. We will be having our final work session on July 25th, where we will come up with our parameters or our plan to move forward with that. But at this point, and this is legitimately true, the board has not in any way discussed school closures at all.
Let me rephrase the question then with more ambiguity.
Sure.
Hypothetically, if, and that's a big if, ladies and gentlemen, you were to close another school, and hypothetically, if it were more centrally located, would you then consider moving into one of those schools? Hypothetically, that happened.
The board has absolutely said that we have no problem moving into a renovated school. We have no problem with that at all. I mean, there are school systems throughout the state that are in old schools that have been properly renovated. So, yeah, the board would not have a problem moving into a centrally located school.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That was, I think, the most respectful dialogue
Yes,
about this,
certainly.
and actually probably the most dialogue that we have had with the Commissioner about this move. So thank you, Commissioner Rothschild.